I wrote the song "I Depend on You" back in 2010, that summer. It all started the day after my birthday in August, and I was at a camp for pastors and people that worked at churches and were in ministry. And so during one of the times of worship, a good friend of mine, Mike Larson, was leading worship. And it's just one of those kind of spontaneous moments where there's no real song being sung. We're all just kind of waiting before God and singing. And this song stirred in my own heart. And so I began to sing it out, and I grabbed my phone and just recorded it. And you can hear Mike Larson and the different people in the background. And so I'm singing out, "I depend on you, I depend on you, I can rest in your faithfulness." The ironic thing about this pastor's camp that I was at is that a few weeks prior to that, I had just finished pastoring at a church because I resigned. And I resigned because I felt God was saying for me to take a step of faith into this unknown future. And so to quit this job at this church, pastoring, doing music and stuff like that, and to just allow God to lead me. I had no idea what the next chapter was going to be. And so I'm at this pastor's camp, and I record this song, and then probably a month after that, in September, I wake up one morning and I just end up writing the rest of the words to this song. And the funny thing is, I thought I knew what this song was about and what it meant the time that I wrote it. But what I didn't know was that this song was something God was going to use in my own life personally over the next few years as I journeyed through this faith walk in what I had no idea what I was doing. And so it was a real challenging time for me, and this song was one of the things that really helped me remember through all of the circumstances that I was facing that God was faithful, He was good, and He was going to get me through this season. And He's the one that started it, and He was the one that was going to see me through. The thing about walking in faith, a lot of people think, wow, I wish I could do that. It's, you must be just such a strong Christian. And if anything, it made me realize how weak I was, how broken, how inadequate. Because facing these trials, there was so many days where I just felt so overwhelmed, so discouraged. And so you can see that in the verses, just this place of brokenness and weakness. And all I could do was remember what God had done in the past and remember what He had promised me, and choosing to believe that if God said He was going to do something, He was going to do it. And so when we get to the kind of pre-chorus that says, when faith is all I'm left with, I have all I need because you've promised. And so there were so many times where I would sing that, and the faith that I was left with was about that much. Felt like barely anything. I was just clinging on. And I had nothing else. I had no wisdom left. I had no game plans. It felt like all of my own skill and talent, it seemed so inadequate. It wasn't enough. And so all I had was this faith that said, God, I choose to believe you and choose to remind myself of who you are, despite the circumstances and what they are trying to tell me. You're good, you're strong, and you're leading me. And if you're in the lead, then I can be confident, because it's not dependent on how good I am. It's dependent on how good you are, and I know that you're good. And then it says, the things I see are temporary, but when I close my eyes, I can see eternity. And that actually comes from a scripture that was really meaningful and is still really meaningful to me. It's in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 18, and I'll read it to you. It says, "So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but what is unseen. since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. And it's funny because the things that really try to grab our attention are the things that we can see. They're yelling at us, whether it's bills or our job or our house or all of these different things. They seem to try and grab our attention, and yet none of them, in the end, will last. They all are temporary. But what is eternal? Love, peace, joy, spending the rest of our lives with Jesus. Those are the things that I can only find when I shut out all of the other stuff. And it's, in fact, when I close my eyes, when I choose not to be overwhelmed by all of the circumstances, all the things, that's when I see what's eternal, what really matters, and that's what helps me deal with all of the seen things that are coming at me. And then where the song all started, I depend on you, I can rest in your faithfulness. In everything I was going through, I felt like I didn't even have faith in myself. I didn't even know if I was good enough to make it through this journey that I had chosen to go on. And all I could really rely on was, God, you are big enough, you are strong enough, and even when I feel inadequate, I know that you're with me and that you will make a way, even in spite of my shortcomings. And so I just want to encourage you today, wherever you're at in your journey, maybe you've stepped out in a new area, and all of that has done is made you realize how inadequate you are. I want to encourage you today that you're not alone, and that there is a way through the circumstances that you're facing. And so I hope that this song is an encouragement to you. Looking forward already to the next song I'm going to share with you guys next week. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for all of your support and the comments that you've been writing. It really means a lot to me. And so thank you for that. Feel free, listen to the song again, comment, let me know what the song means to you. It has more than one meaning. There's always the meaning that comes out when an artist or someone writes something, but the really cool part is how other people interpret that art, because then it takes on all of these different meanings. So anyhow, blessings, have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.